right. Hey, hey. All right, Cancerians, let's take a quick peek and say who is coming toward Cancer. And we shall see um, what we get here. We have an Emperor. Okay, that starts out really strong. This Emperor holds like his parchment here where it's like it's got a decree on it. An Emperor can be a boss, it can be somebody in a position of authority. And this is starting to look like this emperor may be somebody who comes up, especially because they have this decree. This doesn't feel like love. This feels like somebody who's like, hey, here's the contract. He's in the upright. So this is a benevolent energy. This isn't somebody demanding, but it might be like, hey, I've got that paperwork that you wanted. Hey, let's go ahead and, here's the job offer, because this could be a boss. This could be a figure of authority. I mean, it could be, hey, I've got a marriage license. You want to get married? But I'm thinking it's, with the Two of Swords, it's interesting because he's been moving behind the veil. He's been moving without Cancerian knowing what he's been preparing. What is he preparing? What is that parchment? I can't get that out of my head. Eight of Swords. Okay, so it is something that he's been really stuck on. Like the presentation of this is what he's been stuck on. We have the veil in front of somebody's eyes twice. Gemini, thank you so much, honey. You're so awesome. Thanks for being here, love. Thanks for your beautiful energy. We got the Ace of Coins. Okay, so he's in this vibe of, I want to offer something. Maybe I want to make a new offer, a bigger offer, an offer of more money, an offer of a new beginning, an offer of like, hey, could we do business? Hey, would you be okay with this? It's definitely new, right? Because that Ace of Pentacles is a fresh start, a fresh beginning, a new life. This could be somebody who either wants to, let's say this is the owner of a house or a landlord or something, and it's like, okay, I'm really hoping that Cancerian wants to stay. I hope that they will accept this new contract. I hope that they'll stick around for another year, because man, it'd be nice not to have to find new tenants. We could look at it that way. Or this could be about love, but why the contract part? What is the contract about? I mean, if it's marriage, ooh, we have a Seven of Swords and we have the Moon. There's something here that this is proof that he's bringing. Proof, because there's been question marks about stuff. This is like, here's the fine print document. Okay, here's the thing. We got an awful lot of stuck and hidden energy, and now we got lies and we got more hidden energy, but we want a new beginning. But he comes across as very, very fabulous as an emperor, and the emperor is bringing in proof to say, look, I'm not a sly guy. I'm super straightforward. I want a new beginning. I want to, maybe this is his, like declaration. This is my tell all. This is the whole truth and nothing but the truth. This is everything that you didn't know, Cancerian. What does that mean? Is this a document like, here's everything that's wrong with the house before you buy it? Gosh, Judgment in the reverse. Okay. So he's really worried. He wants to give a full disclosure to Cancerian about who he is, because he thinks Cancerian is, if I want Cancerian to tell me no, if they want to tell me no, but I want them to do it on real, honest grounds. I need to explain everything that was hidden. I need to explain, I did lie. I did. This is somebody coming in with an offer of truth. Hey, 1188. This is somebody who wants to come in and speak their truth, and they're hoping for a new beginning with Cancerian. Wow. They're hoping for a marriage. But they know that they have to like really come clean about their past, about things Cancerian didn't know about them. This is them laying it all on the line, everything that was hidden. I think that they're doing this because they are nuts about Cancerian. We have the Five of Swords, and it is sideways. Okay, that's, hostility, that's blockage. I think in the past, they were not ready to reveal this. I think they energetically wanted to keep stuff, like, hey, I don't need to tell you everything. I don't want to be judged for everything. And now they're like, actually, I straight up want you to just decide, in truth, do you want me knowing, my whole past? I don't know if this person has any heinous, hidden crimes or anything. It really just looks like, you know, everybody has, like just personality traits or quirks or, things that they might deem as like really negative. And it's like, oh, probably Cancerian wouldn't want me if they find out that I snore at night, and I hid that. I didn't want to tell them that my ex and I broke up because I snored and they hated my snoring. It could be something very minimal. It could be about money. We do have the 9 of Pentacles sideways. It could be, there's something here about their work situation, their financial situation. Maybe they haven't been totally transparent about what they're, that can be about being single or not single, but I don't think so, because this is typically a single person's card. Maybe their living situation, maybe they've still been, living in the same house with someone and they haven't been honest about that. The thing is, the reason they're being honest about it now is in this storyline, it's because this emperor, they're stepping up into emperor status, which means I'm going to tell you absolutely everything because I really care about you and I want you to care about me, or I want you to decide that you can't care about me if you don't want to pick me. But this is the reality. I don't know. I'm feeling more like this is job or career stuff, something that they're not proud of, something that they haven't been upfront about, something that they didn't used to want to talk about with Cancerian. Why did they used to be hostile about keeping this to themselves? I do just wonder about that. We have the Strength card and we have the 8 of Pentacles. I mean, it may be because they were trying to dig themselves out of some financial hole. It might have been about, they lost a job, they were changing jobs, careers change all the time. And that can be a huge embarrassment, which it shouldn't be ever, but that can be a huge embarrassment to somebody, getting fired. People get really ashamed of that. And it's like, kidding me? We all get fired from something. If you're not getting fired at any point in time, then I don't know, like how could everything always work out great? That's maybe not really realistic. There's always, the longer we're alive, the more, scenarios we're going to encounter in life. So hopefully that's not a huge embarrassment, because it makes for a great story sometimes. Rejections, firings, all those things, those are all things that are, kind of a part of our life story. But I do feel like for him, he was really hostile, didn't want to talk about stuff like this for a period of time because it might have been something he was really struggling to either get his finances worked out, get himself out of debt, working really hard, struggling for something, maybe not making the headway that he wanted, or maybe he was embarrassed because he hadn't worked hard enough yet to get things stable and to make changes. That could also be, maybe he didn't want to talk about something because it stressed him out because he hadn't actually put in the effort yet. There's also times in life like that where we go, oh my God, why didn't I already have this worked out? Now I'm embarrassed of myself. Now I got so much catch up to do. And I didn't know I was going to meet Cancerian, and I wish now that my life were already more orderly. So it could have been a lot of things. But at this point, he is wanting Cancerian to know the full truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. He or she, it doesn't matter. It's very, very, very nervous about this with the 9 of Swords. But it's like, Cancerian would have to know who he really is, what his circumstances really are made up of, so that Cancerian can decide if they just want to like back away and be like, oh, no thanks, no thanks. Or if Cancerian would still say, hey, it's all systems go. They're worried. They really expect Cancerian to back away from them. Again, this feels like I'm wondering now with their money situation, is this a character maybe who has an ex, and that ex has control mostly of their money? Is it like big alimony? Is there, are their paychecks being garnished? Those kinds of things might be what this character has going on. And that's the other thing that they didn't really want to explain. And now it's like, well, not only do I need to explain it, but I need to admit how bad it is if it's, of whatever 40% of my paycheck is, going to a previous connection or something. That's a lot maybe for them to explain to Cancerian. But they feel like Cancerian is a 2 of Cups, and you can't keep stuff from the partner that you want to be with and the partner that you want to marry. How's Cancerian going to handle all this? We have 10 of Wands. It might be a relief to get some answers. Hey, Rosie, great to see you, love. Right back to you. Bye. Or hello, I should say. But we have a 2 of Cups. We have the 4 of Wands sideways. We have the Hierophant sideways, and we have the 7 of Cups sideways. Okay. So on one hand, this says that it might be a huge relief for Cancerian to just get the full story. Okay, finally, thank God. They're talking to me. They're telling me what the heck's going on, because I'm your freaking 2 of Cups. Well, our energy's interwoven. You got to tell me stuff. You can't, how do you even push somebody away when you're wearing the same like weird pillowcase? It looks like they're both jammed into a pillowcase. Like they're going to do the gunny sack race, where everybody puts in a leg and, you have to run like in tandem. Only in this case, it's like they're both in the same pillowcase. But you got to move in unison. If I'm going to share a pillowcase with you, we have to, like synchronize our movements. So if I'm going to be in a relationship with you, if my energy is going to be shared with yours, you have to tell me everything. Now, the thing is, this is a relief because it's like, okay, finally we're getting somewhere. Finally, we're really talking. Finally, they're telling me all of the details, the things that I would need to know. Now, Cancerian admittedly does say, well, what does this mean? How am I now looking at this concept of us being in a 4 of Wands, us getting married? I don't know. There's more to think about because I didn't know that they had some complications in their life, right? And Cancerian might say, well, there is a lot for me to think about. I need to consult with my guides. I need to consult with my ancestors. I need to consult with someone I trust and ask, how does this work? Do I want this? Is this complication something that, what is the right way to proceed? Look, I think Cancerian says they are still my 2 of Cups. And it's a huge relief for us to get that part expressed. And now with all the complications, maybe it's just a matter of how do we deal with complications so we can have a happily ever after? What is the best route? There's not an immediate answer. This is kind of a lot to digest, and it's going to require 2 people, right? Cancerian and this emperor, to be able to plan how do we handle the obstacles that obviously now we know exist. 9 of Wands in the reverse. The big thing is, I think we keep seeing Cancerian having a more uplifted energy. Like, you know what? At least I'm not wounded anymore because they're telling me everything. They're bringing me into the loop. I'm seeing what the whole situation is, and they love me, and I do love them. Okay, so that wound of wondering, or the wound of them being hostile or not wanting to fill me in on stuff, is finally over. Okay, great. Now, how do we proceed? How do we get our happily ever after? What do we do next? 8 of Cups, 4 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles. Okay, so there's some kind of, either Cancerian says, okay, well, you have to go fix the thing that you have to fix and then come back to me. Or Cancerian is saying, I have to think about this. Give me a day, give me 8 days. Don't call, don't text. Let me just think about this. I have to sort out how do we do this. Or this could be Cancerian saying, well, you need to change your living circumstances regardless. So maybe you need to move, maybe I do too, in order for us to cohabitate. We'll save a lot more money if we're already together. Even if you still owe whatever the other money is, you're going to get a lot further ahead if we're already together. And it's our future we're talking about. I could read that in any of those 3 ways. Because of this starts out like, is Cancerian going to bounce and say, well, come talk to me when your stuff is all figured out? The only reason I don't think so is because I think it's more like Cancerian might need a day or 2 to think this out. But I want to say that their assumption is, well, you need to get away from your ex, or if, whomever it is that you owe the money to, whatever that is, if you're living beyond your means, if you're owing a ton of alimony, the goal is to get done with that situation. So what's the most expedient route for you to get done with that situation? It's for us to start working together. I just see the net result is still, or the end result is, we're going to work together on this. So how we get there, is we need to get the other party out of the way, whether it's debt or whether it's, an ex or whatever it is. If you're still living with the ex, you can't be living with them anymore. You need to move here with me. Or, something about, if we know that our goal is us together, then we can't have something in the middle of us. We need to be building. So how do we get together? We've got the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. This is a timeline jump. I kind of think that in this storyline, we've got a character who is going to, I think this Cancerian is going to go ahead and say, just come into my world. It's an us thing now. If you're picking me and I'm picking you, I don't want to wait until you got everything paid off, or maybe you're never going to be free 100% of some kind of, lifelong debt to an ex-partner, or if they have children with somebody else, or, those are always going to be your children. That's okay. You don't need to finish up. That's not like a goal to be done, with your children. Of course not. They're your whole life. But I'm your future also. So let's get us building together. So let's make the changes that we need to. I see this as upcoming, like solution creating and problem solving. And it requires some pretty massive change. But I think Cancerians like down for it. They're the ones suggesting the timeline jump. The Chariot. And it may have much to do with, this is Cancerian literally taking the reins. It's not instantaneous change, but it is putting, like, here's my thoughts on this. Let's, in 2 months, I move, in 3 months, you move in with me. We, start building things together. You need to take care of certain things first that I can't help you with, but then, we're together, and then we keep progressing and we start creating. This says slow but steady, absolute forward motion. In this storyline, I only see the solution of these two finding a way to be together once everything gets aired out. And that's what this whole storyline was about, is we have someone coming toward Cancerian who's ready to lay out everything, like right down to the documents, the court documents, the things that prove that what they're saying is true, because there have been way too many things that were unknown. So I do think that they have to come in and they have to prove it. I think that's why they bring the document, because it's like, Cancerian, what you didn't know is this. No, you got to understand, like, here's why I held back from you. Here's why I was kind of hostile about it, because there's so much of a mess that I've got. I want to have a new beginning, but so many things that you don't know that prohibiting my new beginning. I know I wasn't honest with you about how messy my life is. And if you don't ever want to talk to me, I get it. But I did want to marry you, and I'm sorry this has been a mess. All I can do is, here's the proof that everything I'm saying is true, even though I guess I should have been upfront at the beginning. I do feel like this was a very complicated situation, and they probably should have been really upfront at the very beginning with everything, but they weren't. But this is them being upfront now. And that's, I think, why Cancerian thinks about stuff, really weighs it, really, considers it, and says, well, then we have to get solutions. That's what we have to do, because we both want it to be us together. So let's get the solutions going. This has a lot of hope, and a lot of, like, when you put the energy toward resolution and solution, I can see why it would work. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave this one here. Slave Princess, thanks again for popping by. All right, everybody, have a beautiful evening. I really appreciate you being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up, all that jazz. And I will see you guys again. The next Cancerian video, of course, will be on Saturday. But in the meantime, lots of love, you guys. Take care. Bye.